Hey guys, so going over Git and GitHub today. Let's just dive right in. What is it? All right, so Git is basically a version control manager for your code. As you continue to make changes to your code, you're seeing how it progresses and can always go backwards in time before, say, a bug was introduced or before you made some changes to the code or someone else made some changes to the code. It's something that's installed locally on your machine. While GitHub is a cloud-based hosting for your Git repositories, repository is just another word for folders. So it's just a means of holding your folder with your code on, say, a cloud to be able to access it from any other computer or any other location, or for your team to also be able to access it as well. Why is it used and why is it needed? External storage is the main thing. I'm talking about GitHub in general, not Git. GitHub is mainly used for external storage for your code, and also collaboration for other teams or other people in case you want to share your code out on like an open source project, or just be able to provide useful coding tools online as well. So let's just start with going into how to install Git on your computer. And for me, that'll be starting up a PowerShell window with admin privileges. Bring that over here. All right. So in my previous video, I showed how to install Chocolatey. I'll probably have a link somewhere on here or down below in the description to that video so you can follow along with that and then come back to this. So all I'm going to do is go Choco install Git. And it's already installed for me, but as far as for you guys, it'll install it. It'll go through the whole installation process. All you have to do is press Y as in yes, and it'll install the packages needed. Once you have it, let's say how to use it, how to configure it, a few commands. Pull up a PDF document that I prepared for this. Let's see. All right, I'll pull this over, and I'll have this attached probably in my GitHub repository. We'll go through it. So the first few commands, whenever you install it, you want to be able to go through a git config global username, and then within this, you don't have to put it in parentheses like I'll show you. All right, so it would just be git config -- global username, and this is based on what your username is on GitHub. To get to GitHub, all you have to do is do GitHub, I believe it's .com, yep, and log in. Give me a few seconds, I'll log in. All right, say you sign in, you're able to get to your home screen, you have your username set up. All you have to do to configure it on your computer once you have Git installed is run the commands git config global username, and then the username that it's on GitHub, and then your email that you're currently using. This is also for Git to know who made the changes, and you'll see this whenever you're going through the commits. If you're ever going through Git and you don't know a command or you need help with something, all you have to do is write git and then -- help, and it'll give you the whole list of commands possible with Git. And I'm not sure if this is all of them, because I believe there are a few that may not be included in this, but clone is the biggest one that I have used recently, just because I'm cloning my own repositories onto different systems. And what that means is I'm cloning folders off the internet. So let's just go over to my repositories and say for this instance, I'm working on my website that I have currently up as my portfolio and continuing to build to it. So I want to copy the code or click on code once you create a new repository. Actually, let's go through that real quick. So say you're back to your repositories. You want to create a new one. Let's just label this test. You can add a README to this and then click on create repository. From there, to be able to, you're going to clone it, copy over it, or just click on this little copy clipboard thing with HTTPS, and then go over to your command line. And let's change directories to, whoops, my projects folder. And I already have one of my repositories there. So all I'm going to write is git clone and paste in the code that I have in the background here. Press enter, and it's cloning my repository. So let's go over to my documents folder. And let's go over to my projects folder, and you'll see that test is now in there, and it has the README. So cool. We now can share files across computers, being able to work on it. Going forward, say I want to make a change and I want to create a document within this, or I want to add a document to it. So say I want to add this PDF document to this testing folder. I'm gonna go over to open up another file explorer, and let's see, I have this in G as in Git, okay, and then I'm just gonna move this from Git Commands over to this testing folder, and that's now in it. And all you have to do whenever you're in the command line, or PowerShell window, either one will work, just write git status. Oh, it's because I'm not actually in the folder. So make sure to change into your folder. So change directory to tests, right? Git status. It'll notify you that this git commands.pdf file was included or untracked. So all you have to do is, if you're happy with it, git commit, and then the file name or the period to commit all files into it. Or, apologies, git add, then a period. That'll add the file to it, or it's staged into the drive or into Git itself. So I'm going to show you guys something real quick. So documents, P, projects. What does it mean whenever you're in here? You only see a README and you see the Git commands. You're going to click on view, you're going to show hidden files. This .git folder is tracking everything that's changing within this folder. So when I added git add period, or git add, which just means git add all the files that have been, or add all the. So once you've signed in, once you pushed it through, you can then type git status, and your branch is up to date with the origin main branch, which is the branch on the internet. So if we go back to our browser, and it might take a few seconds, we now see that that PDF file has been added into our storage online, which holds all our commands that we'll go through this. So we've already gone through git config, we've gone through git clone, we know what status does, we know that we can git add, and you type in the file name or a period to add in all your changes. Commit, as in you're committing all your changes to it. If you don't include this -m, it'll prompt you with like a vim. Here, I'll show you. So say I delete this file from this folder, and then open up my PowerShell window again. Let's clear it so everybody can see, and then click git status. It knows that that file was deleted from it. So we're going to do Git Commit. Actually, sorry. Git add -a, which means just git add -a, which shows me all my different rules, but all I'm trying to do is just git add all the changes, then git commit. And then it prompts you with this window, which is what this window does is it's just trying to add a message to it. It's a, okay. Usually I just type a bunch of letters until I'm working in it, and then just said deleted unnecessary file. And then to exit this, all you have to do is press the exit button, semicolon, you'll see it at the very bottom right here, WQ, which means write and then quit, and then push those changes to the internet. It now pushes them, and then we can write git status, and your branch is up to date. So what that does, what the M does is just it prevents you having to go to this other screen and having to type in a message and then doing that whole process. All you have to do is just write your comment there. So Git Branch, let's see, will tell you which branch you're currently on. So say I want to check out a different branch. I'm going to do, or create a new branch, which a new branch is basically okay, say you have one file set up and you want to make changes to it, but you don't want to do it in production, or you don't want to do it immediately on the main line. You want to be able to create a variety of it. So here's your first one, and your second one isn't shown on the internet just yet, but it will be shown if you're approved. If you're on a team, you want to be able to present this to your management, and they want to go through it, make sure that there's no bugs introduced, and make sure that everything that you're adding in is correct. So all you have to do is git checkout, I believe it's B as in the branch, and then I don't know, testing branch. So now you have to do is git branch. It shows you which branch you're currently on. So you're on testing branch. So any changes that are currently made within the testing branch, as in, say, I want to add back that file. And I'm just using a file as like the simplest thing to possibly do, just because it's, you guys can visually see me changing it back and forwards instead of me going in and changing a bunch of code that might make no sense to you guys. So, and let's go see, where did I delete? Oh, I think I might have actually deleted it completely. So let's just add my wallpaper to it. I don't know, something weird, something different. So I added this picture to it, and then can go through the whole process of, okay, git status lets me know that I've added a file. So git add everything, git commit added a picture. And you guys want to be able to add like messages that are actually more meaningful for your team to know, as in like you've added the styles for a web page, you've added security documents, I don't know, something to that effect. That way whenever somebody's looking at your commits, they understand why you're doing them. And then I can push it to the internet. And as you see, since we're on the testing branch, we got to be able to push it up onto the testing branch of our repository. Git push set upstream origin testing branch. And the great thing about GitHub is that it'll, when you're messing things up, which happens, it'll tell you, or it'll warn you, or it'll, not all the time, but a lot of the time, since you're learning GitHub, a lot of the time it'll tell you, hey, you also have to do this command. So all you have to do is do git push set upstream origin testing branch. And it goes through, it pushes it to the website, and then if we go back to our website or onto a repository, we're on main. If we want to switch to testing branch, our artboard is now there, which is just a bunch of, it's a giant picture. It's my wallpaper for my desktop. So say your changes are accepted. You then want to merge the two branches. You want to move your testing branch and your current main branch into one complete file, so there's not two different supposedly branches or folders that are out there. All you have to do, and once you're approved by your management, of course, if you're under someone, if you're not a solo developer, git merge, I believe it's the two branches, so we're going to do main and then testing branch. And give me 1 second. Alright, so I think I figured out why it wasn't working earlier. So all you do is git checkout main to switch back over to your main branch, and then you have to do git merge testing branch. And then what it did, one file changed, and then it created, did what it needed to do. Your branch is ahead of the origin main by one commit. Use git push. I'm gonna wait. Updated. So then when we go back to our main branch, there's two branches. You could always go back to your testing branch, but here's the main branch with the new changes. So what this does is it provides a testing environment for you to be able to make changes to open source repositories or your own files without fully committing them just yet. And what this also provides is a way to be able to continue to have your files on the internet, or your coding files, and say your computer crashes, you also have another computer that you can access those files and be able to get to those files and work within it. I know for me that was the biggest thing, because I switched from computer to computer to computer, especially during college. I was working on different files all the time, so I was able to use GitHub as a means to not only work with other team members, but also as a means to just host my files on the internet. And I know it can be challenging at first, especially when you're first starting out with this. It all seems confusing, but I think practice and also just going out there and just taking chances and learning things, and if you're willing to make mistakes, you're going to do great, because that's the biggest thing. Is I think coding has eliminated the act of worrying or being afraid of failing, because failure and bugs are bound to happen, but it's okay, because it gives you an environment where, like, okay, if this didn't work, what are some different methods? And I know Googling and using the internet is probably your best bet on, like, learning why things don't work and learning why it's a possibility. I know with GitHub and Git, it's the greatest thing for me, being able to know, okay, when was this bug introduced, or who introduced it, and going in and seeing what changes were between old code and new code, and being able to tell the difference, and just be able to go in and be able to have all your files online as well. So if you like this video, and I hope I didn't confuse anybody, please leave a like, and appreciate it, and please subscribe. Thank you so much.